globally, we are the benchmark. We are in at least 80% of all industrial upholstery applications. The service is also being done in the field by the distributor. So wherever you buy your tool, that entity will also service your tools.
Hey, what's happening? Barnaby here, hanging out with Sebastian of BEA, because brother, what we're going to be doing here is a one-on-one, because folks want to know about the company they're thinking about doing business with. And you guys are known the world over for your staplers, right?
Correct.
But do folks really know about BEA? So let's roll back the hands of time and talk about from whence the company came. When was it established?
In 1910 in Hamburg, Germany, actually, as a shipping company. And from there it evolved into what it is today, a full-line supplier of fasteners and tools.
Yeah, but how do you go from delivering goods to creating goods or building the machines that create goods?
Correct. It was a natural evolvement, just where staples and tools fit the shipping business, for instance, to build crates and pallets.
Okay, that's cool. All right, and so let's talk about what you guys are known for. If somebody said BEA, oh, that company is
an industrial brand with a little bit more expensive tools maybe in the beginning. However, the total cost of ownership of the tool will be less than anybody else's out there. So it's something they can rely on.
Okay, because you guys design specifically for the industrial arena, right?
Mainly, correct.
So which industries?
Upholstery furniture is our biggest industry in the US, and we actually are the benchmark with our upholstery tackers.
Oh, really? Yeah. Nice. All right, well, let's talk about innovation, right? Have you guys designed and developed any tools recently? And if you have, let's talk about how you came up with some of the inner workings. Like, how do you figure out what is the next step in a nailer?
Well, one of our newer tool line are these heavy wire tools for 15, 16, and 17 gauge staples to build pallets, crates, furniture frames. And what we've done is we've looked at our current lineup of tools and then talked to end users, and based on that, developed a new tool line.
Really? And so it is interesting, isn't it? Because you design and develop tools for people, but a lot of people are engineer driven. They go, we know what's best for those people, but you kind of reverse it.
Correct. Well, that was one of the keys for us because we knew the application, we knew the end users, and based on that, we developed these new tools. And one of the keys was always speed and power to be able to drive a staple up to 2 inches over and over a million times a day. And for instance, one key that we did that took a lot of time is, in the past, people never had to have a work contact on their tool when they were framing.
Right.
With new OSHA regulations, they had to.
Yeah.
So we developed a very thin safety so that the operator can still shoot quickly and accurately and then comply with all the new regulations.
Right, it's like a gunslinger with a hair trigger.
Correct.
Nice, okay. And so do you also get into the ergonomics? Because boy, if you are doing the proverbial million shots a day, I mean, that has got to be probably one of your keys, is how the tool feels in your hand.
Correct. Well, balance is a key for us. So when you pick up the tool, you know it lays well in your hand. And then even after you fire, you don't want the tool to recoil a whole lot. So that you can place the next shot right away.
Well, and I mean, I just, as I asked that question, and then I reflected back on picking up this tool, it is from front to back. I mean, you just feel like it's a solid mass. It's not looking to dip like this.
Correct.
Even though this is the business end right here.
Correct, because a lot of people have to shoot not only downwards, but maybe even overhead at times.
Okay, and what about this guy right here?
That actually is a specialty tool that we have. It's called our Fast Tagger tool. And what you do is, along with a staple, you apply a little pre-printed tag to stacked lumber.
Oh, yeah.
So you eliminate one step by being able to, with just one hand, to fire the staple into the lumber.
Yep. Yeah, I just went through my son's tree house and had to pull all the tags off with the needle nose pliers.
Hopefully all of our staples, too.
Well, they were in there pretty solid, so maybe so. Well, speaking of staples, let's get into that, because I think a couple decades after you guys initiated this company, you got into the world of staples. So let's talk about what you bring to the party in that regard.
Correct. Well, we have a highly quality controlled manufacturing process. We design all of our own staples to fit into our tools. And therefore, we want to make sure that once they're fired, that they do the job, so that they stick in the wood, that you have a solid connection over and over. So it's very important to us to have a staple that not only fits into our gun and feeds through it consistently, but also that the connection will be solid.
Okay, so I think a lot of people would always think a staple is a staple. I mean, really, come on. What could you do to make this any different than, say, the competition? Are there differences?
Well, there are some differences that, of course, are top secret. And, first of all, the dimensions have to be very accurate, which we have to control. You're talking about, fractions of an inch at all times. And then the points have to be consistently sharp so that you drive into the substrate. And then also these staples, this is a great example because they're very long.
Yeah.
They have to stick together so they don't break apart, yet you have to be able to shear them off
Right.
with a tool. And then they have to stick in the wood consistently. So those are all things we control on an ongoing manner.
Okay, and so let's talk then about how somebody lays their hands on these tools, because you can't just walk into a big box and buy these.
Correct. Since we are mainly an industrial brand, we have about 200 authorized distributors throughout the US. Anybody that doesn't know any of our distributors right now just calls our office in Greensboro, North Carolina, and we will direct them to a local distributor.
Okay, and then people also wonder about warranties or customer service. What happens with these?
Well, all tools have a 1-year warranty. And the service is also being done in the field by the distributor. So wherever you buy your tool, that entity will also service your tools.
And the distributor has a vested interest in this because they want to make sure that none of these tools, should there ever be a problem, are out of service, right?
Correct.
Because?
They want to keep on selling staples.
Okay, because really this is the copier and they're in the business of selling the ink.
Pretty much.
Okay, and so these guys have been tested endlessly. Do they hold up better in your mind than other tools? Because, I mean, it is the industrial environment. Can you say with confidence that you've designed these to be better?
Yes, absolutely. That's always our key philosophy, is to have a tool that's better than anybody else's out there. And one proof of that is that with upholstery tackers, these tools over here, we are the benchmark. We are in at least 80% of all industrial upholstery applications around the globe.
Wow.
So you walk into any upholstery plant, you will very likely see one of our tools in there.
Okay. Well, you know what? It's all good information because folks have probably heard of BEA, but they didn't probably know much of the company, and now they do. And so thank you for that. And therein lies the purpose of what we do here at toolselect.com, because everybody is always looking for the right tool for the job, but there are a lot of moving parts in that decision-making process. So always look to us for good, honest information right here at toolselect.com.